Hello and welcome to the Hobby FC show. You'll notice it looks a little bit different today. It's not just me. I am joined by a very special guest who is also a Manchester United fan, so an equal suffering Manchester United fan, but also the founder and CEO of one of the best card shows, I would say, in the world. Is Harry. Harry,
Wow,
how's it going,
that's an
mate?
intro. Thank you very much.
Yeah, how you been? How's it
Good, busy, very, very, very busy. Since the May show, it's
Yeah.
been all hands on deck, getting ready for August, doing a bit of went to Fanatics Fest, which was unbelievable. Been away for a couple of weeks, then a week today I'll be in Chicago for the National, so all hands on deck.
Yeah, I was going to say, and you got that cap from the
I
Fanatics Fest,
did,
didn't you?
yes, Fanatics
Show
Fest.
that to the cam. That is a really nice little, just on the left-hand side
There
of the
we go.
mantle.
We got the Yankees thing there, and then we got the Mickey Mantle thing that side. So it's loads of exclusive things over there, boxes, caps. It was went over with Lav, and it was very good show, just from the perspective of a like the actual show itself, but anywhere where you can see Tom Brady walking around, Justin Jefferson, CJ Stroud, the World Cup trophy. Like it was a spectacle. As I said, it's a festival for sports.
Yeah, and I remember last year, like I didn't get to go, but I remember there were some people that were a little bit not confused by it because I feel like they tried to cram so much into one show. But this time it feels like, even on the socials and looking at it from afar, it was very clear.
They've had a year to plan it this time, and you can see that. It was really Lance and the team have done an outstanding job to step it up, which was impressive because although it was a bit of certainly not last minute, I'm sure they were planning well in advance from when they were when they announced it. But it was so much better just from the show itself, from the card show. But again, the interactive aspects was really something which, even if you're not into cards, you'd really, really enjoy. Yeah,
I mean, I will get down to one eventually. I will get down to Fanatics Fest at one point. But there is a question that I want to start off all of these interviews with, and it's something I'm always interested to know, just from a football fan's perspective anyway. Okay. You're obviously a Man United fan.
Sadly.
Sadly. Come on now. It's gonna be, we just bought in Burma, mate. Come on, get a smile on. But I want to ask you, what is your earliest footballing memory? If you cast your mind back, what can you remember as your very first memory? It can be good, it can be bad. To be fair, going back with Man United, it's probably going to be a good one.
I think, weirdly, so I lived in America for a couple of years. And so the 12:30 game on a Saturday was early in the morning. I remember Man United played once, and it was at half-time. It was like United were like 4-0 up, and Van Nistelrooy had scored 2 and Rooney had scored 2. And I went to my dad, I was like, I've got both of them in my fantasy team. At a really young age, and it was weirdly, that's one of the, I'd probably have younger ones or like get my first football shirt, but one which I can almost remember like a conversation happening and like watching something, that's probably quite high up there.
Just look at those names you're talking
about. I know, I shouldn't have done
Rooney,
that.
I'm
not helping myself here.
We've gone from that to Xerxes and Hoyland. I still think they're good, but jeez, that makes me so sad. Did you have a favourite player then growing up?
I was a big fan of Nani.
Is it?
I liked Javier Hernandez. He was like, I think, one of the most underrated players ever. Certainly for United. Obviously Rooney's, I think,
greatest player ever.
I think United's, other than Ronaldo, I think he gets seriously overshadowed. I think Rooney could well be up there with the greatest English players ever. And I know we've got a group chat where we say there's a few people who are really underrated, like Bale. I know he didn't play for United, but he was
massively
underrated. If he wasn't playing golf more than he was playing football, he would be
that
up there.
Ruined him, didn't it?
But you still, I don't know how many Champions Leagues he won, but crazy. But I'd say Rooney, Hernandez, and Nani, I think, are top 3.
Oh, Nani was different. He was in that realm of player that he only scored good goals.
Yes.
Like, no matter what it was, if he's smacking it from 30 yards, he's chipping the goolkeeper.
And the celebration.
Mate, did you know that Fergie told him to stop doing that?
Yes, he did.
Because he'd get
worried
injured.
He was going to get injured.
Imagine that now. Fergie he ruled with such an iron fist, and now if Amram tells him, "Oh, that wasn't very good," in a harsh tone, it's going out to the Daily Mail. It's all changed, man. It's all changed. But also, so that was your first kind of footballing memory, and did collecting, even just as a hobby or as a kid, did that come soon after that, or was there a point where you remember you want to get into collecting as well?
It's another one where in the UK it started with stickers, and then actually in America I was very good friends with someone in my grade in my year out there, who has also had British parents, had a British dad. So I was very much into England football, the Premier League, which it's quite abnormal in the States.
Okay.
Um,
What time were we thinking this was happening?
Oh, this was probably when I was, let's say around 2004, 2005.
Oh wow, pre-MLS? Well, MLS was there,
yeah,
but
exactly. So
not pre-Beckham MLS
yes,
anyway. Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
So soccer wasn't a big deal out there at all. So I collected a lot of the stickers with him, with this mate who was in my year. And like anything with collecting in the States, you get into other things. It was mainly baseball, hence my real love for the Yankees. And yeah, I came back from the States, kind of fell out of love with it, like a lot of people do. And then I think it was when I was clearing out my room during COVID, like I'm sure everyone did about 17 times. And I found the old baseball cards, which I had, and it kind of got me back into it. And then I guess you could say the rest is history.
Yeah, and like just on that with the US and the UK, there's obviously a massive difference between the two. Like I feel like this is me looking from the outside looking in, but their collector mania over there, like you have way more card shops, way more card shows, and collecting is more of a normal thing there. But do you think that the UK is starting to like catch up to it?
100%.
Yeah.
Like I think you go over there and again, it's not blowing smoke up the London Card Show's arse, but you're getting
you can do that, mate. That's what
no, none of that. But you're getting people coming over, the influencers for content, but also every show I'm getting more and more DMs, emails, people going, I'd love to come over, get a table, and they're not like. They're big on Instagram because of the cards they've got, and they're coming over for the aspect to buy and sell cards because they know that there's money to be made here now. There's that kind of market. Repackers are very, very prolific, and again, I'm sure I'm definitely not saying it's just the London Card Show. They're probably going to other shows in and around Europe, but with us doing it every 3 months instead of the others who some do it once a year, it's a lot more visible to have data to compare to.
Yeah.
So we're seeing that slight increase every 3 months, and it's really good for the UK. And I think, well, look at the first Fnatic shop is based in London, so I think that's a really good representation of where we are.
It's massive as well.
It's a bit, yeah.
Like it's not like a little small shop that's kind of on the precipice of London. It's slap bang in the middle of Regent Street. Michael Rubin was there, the CEO of Fanatics, to come and open it up. So clearly there is that demand, otherwise it wouldn't 100%. Be doing it. But you mentioned the London Card Show. It'll be stupid of us to not really talk about the London Card Show, because if you don't know, that was the very first show I ever went to. So I can't remember when. It was like a year and a half maybe. I think that was the first time I got into it. And can I just say, like, I've made a video on it. Go check it out. Link in the description, where I said kind of the 5 things I wish I knew before going into a card show. And it's especially for someone like me, it can be quite an overstimulating place. There's a lot to take in.
It overstimulates me every show, and I've been to every one.
But it's absolutely brilliant. And I have to say, like, every single time I've gone, it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. But I remember the first time I got there, I was like, this clearly isn't the first show, clearly won't be the last. But it just made me think, what was the very first show like? And you've put a few social posts about it on like where it was and stuff. But can you take me back to the very first time you thought about doing it and how that came about, and then leading to the first show?
So actually, I don't know. I think I've said this before. If not, you'll have a little bit of an exclusive. But the first London Card Show was actually supposed to be held at the Chessington World of Adventures Resort.
Was it?
I
did not know that.
But Boris, our good old Prime Minister at the time, decided to push lockdown a little bit longer.
Our Lord and Savior.
Yeah.
While he's probably having a party on the side of the road. So.
Fair play.
But that's staying in. I don't care.
We were supposed to have it then, and then all of a sudden it got delayed. So obviously it got cancelled. And I had time to do more research. So that's when it ended up being at the Tolworth Recreation Centre, July 2021. Now how it came about,
because you don't. Sorry to cut you off. Because you don't just start by saying,
I'm going to do this.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's a lot that goes into it, especially because I spoke to a few of the partners, a few of the sellers, and for them, I'm thinking that's quite a concerted effort for them to make. Like they got to think, do I get a table? Do I do this? But you've got to be thinking, how many am I going to get? What's the rough amount of people?
What's the rate? Yeah.
What's the rate? And how do I, because it's still a business, how do I as a
Well, that's the thing.
events business make money out of it?
So for me, I've always been quite entrepreneurial. As a kid, I was that guy selling chocolate bars at school. I that was me. School was never like my forte.
Like traditional school.
Well, as cringe as it sounds, me at school was like judging a fish's ability to climb a tree.
Okay,
I just didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
I was one of those people who just, the thing that which annoyed me the most in this world, and still today, it frustrates more than anything. I remember being in maths class and I got the right answer the wrong way.
Oh,
and it's like you don't
showing you're working
and it's
out,
like you get to the destination, of course, sweet, but like how you get there shouldn't really matter. And I know, oh yeah, it's about the journey, not the destination. Sweet, I do appreciate that, but like when it's life, like I'd much rather as a kid be learning about mortgages, be learning about interest rates, be learning about all that kind of stuff instead of Pythagoras theorem.
I do not even get
so,
me. I've never used it. I'm 28 and I've never once used that
and
theorem.
I'm like, so that's why I did okay. Like I got like 6 C's and 1 A at GCSEs.
That's all you need.
I tried A levels. Nah, not for me. So I went to college and I did like a BTEC. Then when I was practicing what I preach, I went and did a certificate of financial studies, which is like very small, like worth like half an A level. But it was just learning about mortgages, interest rates, business, that kind of thing. Did well there because, I wasn't told like this is exactly how you have to answer a question. BTEC is all coursework, so you do all that kind of stuff. You can structure it as you want. Went to uni in Southampton. Didn't like it at first, was very homesick. Came back to see my parents after like 2-3 weeks, and I was probably a week away from dropping out just because I wasn't in a good way. And then I met a few of the closest mates in the world to me down at uni. Went to uni for 3-4 years with a placement year, came back, got a decent job. But anyway, I've properly tangent there.
It's good to hear.
I loved entrepreneurship. That was a big module I did at uni, and that's where the aim was to get to, and that was a big part of it, part of my dissertation, big part of my final year. And so I always had that drive to be my own boss. So when COVID came, I had time, and I was working as a investment banker at the time, so I didn't have loads of it, but I did have time to in the evenings to start building something. And I guess I saw the gap in the market. Whenever I do anything, I do a lot of research on YouTube, whether it's for cards for value or whether it's for knowledge. And the sort of shows in America. I remember Sasha T at the time is a big YouTuber. Obviously Ryan, one of the original, or still to this day, the original GOAT in my point of view. And I just thought that if no one else is going to do it, I may as well, because at the time cards were booming in the UK. It wasn't like it was unheard of. Called up the local convention centre after Boris pushed it back, and thankfully it was a lot cheaper.
Oh really? It's like he knew.
Exactly.
That's why he did it, guys. It wasn't to keep us indoors. It's to make the London Card Show the best it could be. So
exactly.
Thank you, Boris.
Big up Boris.
Big up Boris.
But yeah, that's kind of how it started, and a little bit more info than probably needed, but that's the build up and the start of the London Card Show, I guess. Mate,
and it's great, and I have to say, like, because I think I had a different uni experience to you. I think I kind of went in as the introvert and then sort of emerged as the extrovert. So doing this before uni was never going to happen.
Really?
Or the me before then, never. But now going to shows and all that still. That's why when I first went to the show, kind of the old me came out a little bit. I was very like introverted, didn't want to say much, but then you start seeing familiar faces and you can kind of grow into it. But before that all happens and you have that familiarity aspect of things, you're still, and I'm just thinking about how I would feel in your situation, like you're still creating a show with no real, you have data from America that is going to work.
But that's not data.
Exactly.
It's such a different market. For me, that's why still to this day, one of the proudest things I've ever done is take the leap to do it full time.
When did that take place? So June 2021, as you say, when this started. So
July 2021. I think it was because I was going through a lot at the time, and I wanted a fresh kind of chapter of my life. I'd gone through a pretty rough breakup.
Right.
my dog had just died, and at the investment bank, my boss had just said, look, we've lost 2 members of the team, and we're probably not going to get anyone to join. So I was like, 3's the magic number. Everything comes in 3s.
And this all happened around the same.
All in the same time. So in my head, I'm going, right, if this isn't a sign to take a leap, I don't know what is. I was very fortunate. My boss said, look, you'll regret it if you don't do it. My parents.
So your boss was. Like,
oh yeah, he was,
wow.
and he didn't want me to tell his boss that,
Yeah,
because I'd be there and still feel to this day. I appreciate it so much. My parents always be grateful, because they were like, my dad, who is an investment banker as well, he said, Harry, let me promise you, Canary Wharf will always be here. So yeah, I'm very grateful, very, very grateful for the people I had around me, my aunt and uncle as well, who've done well in their respective businesses. So took the leap. About the time there was, like you say, no data to go on.
No.
It's not like I could have a look at XYZ or like a few people have, I hope, done off the London Card Show, because I like the idea that I've helped other people to grow and expand their businesses, their ventures, their shows. But yeah, it was a scary time, but it was at the point where it was either, do I go full time with this, or do I kind of have it as a side hustle?
Yeah. And when you did that, like, I'm very lucky as well, because my parents have always backed me in everything I've done, which, to be fair, as an Indian kid, like, is quite rare. But like, when your parents did that, was that, so you had your boss doing it, you had that as well, but I'm always a firm believer of you're going to bed alone at night with the thoughts in your head on if it's going to work or not.
100%.
So when that first show hits, like, it's happened and you've made a great show. It's 2 or 3 years later. I'm still scared for you, thinking what that first show is like. So take me back. So how did it go? Did it compare to your expectations? And what were some of the hurdles you faced?
The first show, I had no expectation. I'd genuinely no clue.
Yeah.
So I'd sold like a handful. And when I say a handful, I mean like 20, 30 tickets.
Really?
There's 10 tables. Like the first London Card Show was half a sports hall, 10 tables, 40 people.
So how many sellers? So 10 sellers.
10 tables, yeah.
So there was a 1 in 4.
Basically.
Wow.
And I'm a stubborn guy. Like, the only person who can tell me what to do is the person who birthed me.
Yep.
And my stubborn ass girlfriend.
Very fair.
Other than that, you'll do well.
We love them for it.
Yeah,
Say, like, this is
yeah,
this is all love.
And I meant that in the best way, because they're the only 2 people who probably know that.
Yeah.
Like, I work.
And they want the best for you, don't they?
Yeah, and I work closely with Katie and James, and they'll put me in my place when need be, and vice versa. My dad is one of my best mates, and I've got a real close group of mates, which will say, nah, that's not the best idea, or yeah, that's really good, which I'll go to advice for, card and not card related. But in terms of the show, it was never really a one and done situation. I was always going to go, yeah, let's see what we can do here. Let's see what we can do. And if 3-4 shows down the line, it's still half a sports hall, excuse me.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not the best endeavor, but for me, yeah, it just kept growing it. And the next one, with 3 months notice, got a few more sellers, went full size. Big, I guess you could probably say, in terms of data and growth, that's the biggest growth I've had from the first to the second. Although the Excel might have a couple things to say about that.
We'll get to that, yeah.
But yeah, just grew it and grew it and grew it. And I think, again, going back to what you said about I'm the person going to bed with those thoughts in my head, I didn't really have that until I went full time with it.
Do you still have that now?
Of course.
Really?
Of course.
I mean,
any business owner who tells you otherwise is a liar.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
sorry, like, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
I went from having too much work to do and being worried that I had to look after myself and get the work done. Then all of a sudden I hired Katie. And Katie doesn't work for me. She works with me. Right. Like she's Katie.
That's what you want, though.
Katie and James, like, yes, the London Card Show, which I own, pays them, but I work with them.
Yeah.
Like, Katie tells me what to do more than I tell her.
And you're better for it.
Exactly, and I'm grateful for her every day. Yeah. But the day I hired her is probably the most relieved I was. And then all of a sudden I went, now I've got 2 mouths, myself and hers. And then when James came on board, it was more relief because she had more room for freedom. Then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, now I've got 2 people. Business owners I commend you because it's the best job in the world when it's going well.
Yeah.
But it can also be the scariest place in the world. And you don't have to think about now. You got to think about now, the future, the long-term future, and everything in between.
Yeah.
And you got to work out, especially for the London Card Show, which I'm no way saying is any different to any other business. But what I'm saying is we've got 4 shows a year, and every one of them has to meet the standard of the last, if not exceed it.
Well, because I just think if it, like, not to put this in the universe, obviously, it's a great show. There are any troubles with it,
Western wood,
because it's also a very public thing as well.
Of course
like
it
if
is.
things do, and we'll get onto one thing that I thought you guys dealt with phenomenally at the last show, or maybe the one before. But I think the way that you conduct yourselves, what I've always liked is you're not really an alienating side of things. Like I think with different shows, it's, if you don't know what it's about, you're almost not welcome at different shows. I'm not drawing a name onto anyone, but there's some that I've been to. I'm just like, I feel like an outsider. But you immediately feel like at the LCS, at least you're there with either companies that have got reputable, like notable reputations, or at least with people who are going to give you the time of day. Well,
that's the thing. We try and work with our vendors and our attendees as much as we can. Like vendors who say, well, look, we'd love to be on an island with XYZ. It is random, but I try and accommodate that. And I'm very much vocal in saying, if you help the show, we'll help you back. Like, it's a very communal show, and I'll speak to GBW and all my close mates, and they'll be the first to say, this needs to be a little bit better, or this aspect. And I'll be the first to say that any kind of feedback I'll take. And yes, a lot of the time when it's high-end stuff, I go to the close core, but the grand scheme of things, I'm always looking for feedback, and I'm very fortunate to say that 90% of it is positive, but that 10% is more important to me.
Yeah, because otherwise, if you don't listen to that, I don't think you get growth on shows. You just get kind of the same thing and trying to repeat it. And do you, like, now you've got quite a few partners with the LCS, like businesses and stuff. Was there, no matter how small, or we don't have to have the exact name, but was there a specific partner maybe early on that made you think, okay, now we can start to level up? Or was it a different reason that you decided to go harder and harder each time?
I remember getting so excited about Tops DMing us. Oh my God. I was...
Take me back to that, because I've been DM'd by Tops once, and it made my whole
But this is at the time I stood at Sports Hall.
Really?
And they were like, look, we'd love to come along, just get some content, bring some packs. Would we be able to? And I was like, they're asking me if they
you
can
dumb?
come.
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah.
Like,
is this the UK team or the
UK team? UK team, which back then was like running the European division. And since then, Tops has grown exponentially around the world. The UK team,
and Fanatics as a whole,
of course.
Has grown,
So yeah, that was a massive moment for me, kind of thinking about the whole, oh wow, this is, if I'm getting their attention, I didn't want to big myself up, but who else's attention am I drawing? And we were getting, like Voltex, been with us literally since day one, and now they're a global kind of company again.
Brilliant products as well.
Yeah, exactly. And we work with their binders. We've hopefully got some new binders, like co-branded binders with them coming.
Sick.
But yeah, I'd say that was kind of the light bulb moment, I guess you could say. This is... And I remember signing like a 2-year deal with them for like not much money, but I just knew, okay, Tops are on board now for 2 years. And I still, to this day, there's some companies which you get more value from them, from their presence than their money.
You're not gonna, in any stage of any business, you're not gonna look at someone like Tops DMing you and being like, oh,
I'll get back to them later.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, yes, please, let's do that now. And from Sandown, Race Course, obviously the most like recent venue to the XL. Now, a quick little disclaimer: I've been to the XL, but the reason I went is because they used to do Britain's Got Talent auditions there. And this is a little exclusive. I swear to God, I used to do a pretty nifty little Michael Jackson impersonation. My moonwalk was cold. And
I might have to get you on the main stage in the next show, mate.
Bro, I'll be there for 10 minutes. I'll do a whole set. What do you mean? I was there. And do you know what's jarring as well? You know, they tell you, like you lot just see, you got the judges there. Yeah. Do you know you have to actually go into a small room?
Different stages, isn't there?
You have to go heard that. You have to go into a room where you're just around a producer and just perform it to that single producer, and then they decide whether or not you're either great for TV
or you're
in that you're a bit crap.
terrible enough for TV.
You're terrible enough for TV, or you're good enough to win the show. And this is what a producer told me afterwards. But if you're in that grey area of you're okay, maybe you're not that notable, then they just sack you off. And I got my rejection letter after the final. So I'm like, yeah, sick. All right, cool.
Cheers, guys.
I guess I didn't make it. But look, the XL, the reason I bring it up is because it's absolutely massive.
It is.
And when I went, there were literally people, and it is how you think. There were people wearing their little number stickers at Britain's Got Talent to go to their thing. So, but that's Britain's Got Talent, one of the biggest shows in the world, and they catered for the demand. And I think over the last 2 shows in Sandown, you expanded to different days. You brought in the Fridays, and you kind of went different levels with the TCG versus sports. So now it's going to the XL. I mean, what I've seen kind of the renderings, I've seen kind of what the plans are, but what do you think sets this next show at the XL apart from the previous shows that you've done so far?
I think just the size, because we've actually, so with the XL, you rent out halls. So you can literally rent out 2 halls, 3, 4. The 4 is big, and we initially went for 3, and then speaking with the sponsors, looking at the demand, not even like requesting it, just speaking to people, like the demand, we've gone for 4 halls and a queuing hall. So it's going to be big.
It's going to be massive.
What's the difference? I don't want it to be massively different. Like the London Card Show is all about meeting demand. Obviously, the guests we have, hopefully, for the main stage are going to be really, really cool. The booths, which the sponsors bring, are going to be a step up. I've got. The issue with everything now is that half my attention is on that, which again is a great thing, but also means that I need to be putting just as much time into the next London Card
August show,
August, and then November, and then February. Because for me, it's not like, oh, okay, well, we can push those 3 aside. They are the London Card Show, and this next one is just XL.
Yeah,
like London Card Show goes XL, and for me, it's just all about the next show has to be the best, and then come February, the next show has to be the best again for the XL, and again, what sponsors and vendors are planning on bringing. I've spoken to a handful of them, and it's very, very exciting. And of course, it is going to be different to a Sandown show, but the DNA is going to be the same. Like the good vibes, the team, the kind of senses that it's a card show at the end of the day.
The mascot. Bloody love that
man
mascot.
Like Hector.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if you're the same. I hug the mascot every time I go.
Yeah,
it's rude not to. Like it's actually rude because the poor guy. Like I remember. So what's his name? Is it
Hector? Hector the Collector.
Hector the Collector. That's it. So I remember there was one time it was boiling hot. It was boiling, but then all of us were struggling. But for some reason, we all collectively just made sure Hector was okay.
Yeah,
and Hector was fine. He was there loving life. He had
Hector
little
troops on regardless of the weather.
Yeah, we put him in the shade. He was there just loving it, and then he's still there taking pictures. I'm like, what an absolute legend.
Yeah.
But I think it's quite poetic as well that you're excelling in the show, and it happens to be the XL arena.
I mean, there was a few things which kind of worked well. We're at the XL. The letters XL, extra large, are the same as XL, and like you say, excelling. It was quite fitting. Yeah,
it's going to be a great show, and like I said, I've been, and I think getting down to Esher for the Sandown, it wasn't ever that difficult. It's still not far from London, but this is on the Jubilee line. I think you can get to. So
yeah, it's
like Canning Town sort of.
Yeah, it is Canning Town. So I think the big thing is people have always said they'd like a more central show, and not everyone has said that, far from, but I think Sandown works so perfectly. The parking's free. There's so much accommodation. There's an airport 20 minutes away in Heathrow.
Yeah.
There's loads and loads and loads. I don't know if a hotel, but it just works so well. The scenery's lovely. The town, Esher itself, is a 5-minute walk if you want to. So it ticks a lot of boxes, but like even for this upcoming show, we're in the middle of in early July, we sold out Saturday tickets.
Really?
And that's great. Like I love it, but at the same time, that means that people are missing out who might be waiting for the next payday, who might be wanting this, and again, they're up from the day of the last show. So again, there's plenty of time. But at the same time, as a business, it's always frustrating about margins and growth, and
because that's set now, isn't it?
Of course it is. Like
and for safety reasons, you can't.
So
up the numbers
if we could, we would sell more, but we physically can't. We've worked out how to sell a handful more for using different areas and utilising the afternoon and going off feedback. But we're talking about a couple hundred here. We're not talking about thousands, which, we're expecting for the XL.
Yeah, it's going to be brilliant. And like you say, there's still a good few number of LCSs before that.
Yeah.
So, and I always say, like, and this isn't just because you're here, if you are a new collector, get down to the LCS. I think it's important that just to kind of, like with the video that we did, I think to just ingratiate yourself to the community a little bit more and realize that people aren't nearly as scary or not forthcoming with information as other industries. Like the amount of times, like with like Jeeves is off camera, but like the amount of times that I've actually messaged him or anyone else that is like big YouTuber or like you just think big creator, big this, they've got no time on their hands for me, but then they actually just go off and talk to you. It's amazing to know that that's what people are like.
That
just
shows
in general,
it is like I always say, like have your plan about what you want to buy, about what you could plan on doing. But like if you're by yourself, I promise you, if you don't know someone like personally, by the end of the show you will.
Yeah,
like just everyone. Like I spend hours talking to people or like not shows, and then during trade night, the only time I've got to think at shows, I do sit down and chat with people, and it's the whole time is good vibes.
Yeah,
and that is a good thing. And yes, there'll always be people who try and make it not good vibes sometimes at shows.
You'll always have that though.
But exactly, where there's money.
It's not really a reflection on you, it's more.
Well, there's money to be made. There will be people who try and take advantage, and I'm very fortunate that the team and myself are PR trained. We know what to do in situations, and security is in abundance. So
yeah, and on that, I mean, like I don't know if it was the last show, maybe the one before, but there was a there was a threat of like someone trying to steal from another mender, or I don't remember the ins and outs of it. You don't need to go into the details of it, but just as someone who, you know, is on that side of things, because you're not only thinking, is the show going to be good? You need to make sure it's safe. You need to make sure that everyone,
that's the priority. Yeah,
that everyone's got a bit of an insurance policy that they're not going to get their stuff nicked. And really, in that kind of show, like I'm not saying don't ever do this, obviously, but like the amount, like it is, like things are there. They're just on. Like I know there's like a
so this
display
is
with things, but there are like loose things there, and you just think. That's why I love the community a lot, because I've never seen any nonsense go on. Like people are respectful, people like generally look at things and stuff. But when that happened, did you like, what was your immediate thought when it happened?
People band together. I've never seen it like it. This past show, like I reached out to a few people. So we got rid of 2 parties at the show.
Yeah.
And as soon as I got their IDs off them, I sent that to all the other card show hosts around the UK. Because again, one theft is too many, but like I've said, you can't prevent these things, unfortunately.
It's how you react to it.
Yeah.
Which I must say, I think you guys did very well.
So the message is always to the team, try and minimize the kind of scene.
Yeah.
Because as soon as it becomes a scene, eyes come across, phones come out, then it is a big deal. Yeah. Even though it's not, it doesn't need to be. Yeah. Just because one idiot is trying to just do what everyone knows they shouldn't, doesn't mean it needs to ruin anyone else's day.
Yeah.
Ruin my day. I don't care. That's what I'm there for. And I say to my team, you don't get paid enough to do anything and to talk to these people. Let me deal with it. I'll get all loud with the 2 6'10" bouncers behind me acting the big un.
Yeah. Hold me back.
No. But in all seriousness, you don't know what they got. And again, it's one of those where you have to be very political. You have to very much say, look, we're under we've been informed XYZ. Would you be okay? And if they're pretty harsh or they don't want to cooperate, it's a short process.
Yeah.
You just got to get rid of them. And if they are cooperative, then there's things we can do.
Yeah.
But either way, going into the situation display cases.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it because we rent them out for £20 each. I'm saying it because, and again, GBW's off camera, and he's probably sick to his back teeth of me saying this, but I do not understand when people have hundreds, thousands of pounds of cards on display, where you wouldn't rent one for £20, or buy one. Like it doesn't have to be. You don't have to rent them. Go buy one
yourself.
Like buy one yourself.
It'll pay for itself in
exactly
like 2 or 3 shows.
100%. And that's why we half our display case, half our locker is just display cases now, because we feel like it's such with it growing, and I've got loads of like advice for new people, whether it's buyers, sellers, but probably the number one thing is that if you're there to sell, buy yourself a display case or rent one from us, just because you've got a key, done. You don't need to worry now.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what's interesting is I've walked around with like some little snags of stuff I've got in my backpack, and I've never once felt unsafe at a card show. But I just look at, I think as a seller as well, you've got so many things to think about, so many like, you know, because even if people, like, I know you're in
the shows get busy, so there's a lot of hands going on.
Exactly, a lot of hands going in. I'm not talking just about selling, but also the condition of what you're touching. Because, you know, you'll have a top loader, you'll have a sleeve, you'll have a slab maybe, but you still don't want your prized possession just knocking
10
about.
10 people picking up and putting that down is not going to do it any good.
Yeah, and I'll say this now, I don't know who the seller was. I'm really, really sorry, but there was someone who had loads of MagSafes. And I still think about this to this day. It was my first ever show as well. And I remember MagSafes, like, they're slippy when you get a few. I felt so bad, but like nothing happened, thankfully. But he had like 5 or 6 MagSafes with like good Man United cards in them. And I'm just flicking through and then all of it just fell out my hand. And it fell on the floor. None of it broke. It was all fine. He laughed about it. He was actually fine. And I just turned into Will from In Between. Oh, sorry, sorry. And it's the most horrendous feeling.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
But what, like you say it there, like what would you say in terms of from a selling point of view? Because I've never sold. So what would be your top few tips that you would give to someone who is thinking about selling at a card show?
I mean, I would love to set up at every London card show, but sadly I'm a bit preoccupied. I always say that to the boys. I was like, I'm very jealous. Would you be jealous? Because you get to actually enjoy the show, whereas I've got to run around like a headless chicken and act like I'm enjoying it. I'm joking. I love what I do. But tips for a first-time seller. Know what you want to sell. There's nothing, like, if you've got something to display, like, bring that. There's nothing worse than selling a card and go, actually, you know what, I'm kind of wish I'd have kept that.
Because you can feel it.
Of course,
like, as a buyer, you can like, tell when they don't want to part with something. And it's like, well, why is it there then?
Profit is profit. Always remember profit is profit. Like, at the end,
your PC.
You'll never go broke if you're making money off every card. But at the same time, if depends what you're doing it for. If you're doing it to flip cards or that kind of stuff, then liquidity is always best. Take 90% and put it into a new card. Price stuff up. That's a big one. If you're walking around, and whenever I go to other shows and I set up, I'm 100% at fault for this.
But don't even get me started on it. You know the amount of times I've gone looking at someone's like display case and there's nothing priced. Because do you know what it feels like? It's like, you know, when you go into, it's not what they intend, but if you go into a Rolex or like if you look at Tiffany's and stuff, there's a reason why these companies don't have prices.
Of course
on them. Because either don't get looky-loos coming in, but also if you ask the question, it's kind of like they're qualifying the sale.
You've broken down the first barrier.
And I feel terrible because, and it happened in the last show I went to. I remember seeing like a tie-dye Kvaratskhelia. I was like, well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Out of 25 Napoli from the season they won it. So I was like, oh, this is good. But I just wanted to know what the price was. I comped it myself. But then the minute they start doing that, they're already kind of halfway through the selling process.
Like, not everyone wants to, like, how do I say it? It's like almost you is that kind of introvert where when you go to shows, not everyone will be the person to ask what price is. No. They want to like just look and comp themselves. Don't price a card for what you want it to sell for though. So let's say there's a card worth £200. If you want £200, you will get people negotiating with you.
Oh yeah.
So it's like anything. So like if you put comps on a card, fair enough, like fair play, like you might get that, and you could turn around and just say, no, I'm pretty firm on this.
Yeah.
But if you want 90% on the card, put comps. If you want comps on a card, put 10% on. Just give yourself bit
of a margin though.
Because that way. And buyers are probably not going to be happy with this, but it gives buyers a feeling like they're winning the deal. If I've got a card list for 200 quid and you come to me and said 150, I said, do you want to meet in the middle at 175?
But in your head, you would have been happy taking that anyway.
175 is probably what I wanted, and you've gone, got 25 quid off, so everyone wins.
Yeah.
So again, it's not like that's a dick move or anything. It's a genuine negotiation tactic which has worked for many years.
Exactly.
And it's proven to be very successful.
Yeah, and the price is still the price. If you don't want to pay it, don't pay it. Like, it's fine.
I think, again, for a seller, don't be upset if if someone doesn't like your prices.
Yeah.
It happens. Just like the seller won't be upset if, as a seller, you can't be upset if someone offers you cards and you don't pay them what they want. Like it works both ways. But again, be prepared. Be prepared for everything as a seller, because Jeeves and I went to Dallas and it's a whole new ball game over there. The American show is setting up for that. It's the first time I've set up, and I'm really looking forward to heading over to the SoCo in the National.
One day I'll get there. One day I'll get
next year, I've said to a few people, we've got an Airbnb. Next year we're going to get an even bigger one. We'll get like a whole UK kind of scene. Just be prepared for everything as a seller at a London Card Show, because it's so good. But with 4,000 people coming a day, you get all kinds of personalities, I guess is the easiest way to say, and everyone's welcome. You get TCG, you get sports, you get just people there for the guests, you get people there for the cards, you get people there for the corporate aspects. So again, it's such a good day out, but be prepared for someone to offer you crazy amounts for a card, which is worth a lot more.
Yeah, and that is absolutely fair. And the National, like I've only ever seen the only real eyes I've seen it through is either through UK content creators who've gone over there, or some of my favorite US ones out there. So shout out Trike, for me, just one of the best creators. I think he's absolutely awesome. Troy Reich,
done crazy recently, honestly,
absolutely awesome.
And I'll be there in August. He's coming in August. Yes,
I'm there in August. Come on, Troy.
There we go.
Let's get you on this. Let's get you on here. But no, Troy's like he always seems like a good guy. But I really appreciate it, and really most content creators like this in the space where they're just honest about what it's like. And the National, I think, just for someone like me, who, yes, I'm extroverted, yes, I'm doing this and everything, but it is a different kettle of fish in terms of shows and how big it is. So I guess from your perspective, when you see those kinds of shows, do you take inspiration from them and say you want LCS to be like the UK version? Or
from an events perspective, Fanatics Fest, Dallas, the National, you have to, like the UK, like we may be the biggest show in Europe, but compared to Fanatics Fest, compared to
the US
the
is
National, it's crazy. And I do think we compete with some of the American shows. Of course we do, because we're very big at what we do, and we're really grateful. But at the same time, they've been doing it very, very, very long time. I'm making the mistakes now that they made 10, 15 years ago.
But they are like also, as a country, they're 40 times bigger than the UK. And so it's not like I saw people like on one of the other videos we did talk about like the US UK thing. He was from the US and said, you guys will never be as big. Okay. Physically, no.
Well done.
Like no, we won't.
The UK is like the size of New York or something. Like
but then you look at the size relative to the population, actually we're pretty damn close.
And it goes back to what I said at the start in terms of like the comparison is like the allocation we're getting with Tops, the kind of the cards we're getting through, the attendees at all shows, not just London, is on the upward trajectory. And like I said, I'm certainly not saying it's because of the London Card Show. I'm saying it's because of the UK as a scene. But there's a reason the UK and London was chosen for that Fanatics collectible store, and that didn't. They could have gone to Germany. They could have gone to Italy. They could have gone to France. They could have gone to the Netherlands. We were chosen, and
London
I think that's a big kind of representation of what the world is thinking of the UK.
I think it's a big boost also for the UK.
Of course.
But I also think, and I want to get your opinion on this, but with the World Cup coming up in the US, so just a little for the history fanatics out there, the whole reason why it happened is because it started in 94. This goes back like 40 odd years. But the USA World Cup 94, that was given to them under the proviso that the MLS would begin. And then they did that about 10 years later, I say. And then Beckham is the one. So they were given, so they wanted the World Cup, but in the 60s and 70s, they had something called the NASL, which was the precursor to the MLS. And that's when George Best and Franz Beckenbauer, Pele, was in America. But it died a death. It was really, like, it peaked for about 2 years, and then it flopped. Cruyff was over there. Every big name was there. And then when they did the 94 World Cup, like, they went to FIFA with all the money and said, okay, money's one thing. This is when FIFA had some morals. But money's one thing, but you have to have, like, every country who has it has to have some sort of presence about football in that country. So they said, don't worry, we're starting the MLS. This is what we're going to do. This is when they were playing on NFL pitches, playing on like AstroTurfs and 4G college pitches with the markings still on there. I think if you go back and watch David Beckham's first few games, he's on college pitches, and it's crazy. So they did all that, and then Beckham joins. He gets the promise of a franchise. That all happens, but now we've got the MLS, which has become its own sort of thing. Messi's there, obviously.
It's infrastructure.
It's the infrastructure's. I think it's probably the best and fastest growing football infrastructure in the world, because China tried it, Russia tried it. Well, Russia have got it, but not as much. Like India tried it.
Yeah.
And India, sorry.
Saudi.
You flopped it. Saudi are trying
Saudi
it.
very much still trying.
Yeah, exactly. But this is the first time that actually collecting law is going at the exact same time as a World Cup. So now we've got the Fnatic store opening up. We have the new World Cup, which is there. Broadcast rights are massive, especially after the Club World Cup, which is there. So I said this about 2 years ago when they announced that it was going to be the US and Mexico and Canada, that if you are a football collector, like, because this is Hobby FC, so it's not just cards, it is loads of different things. But if you are a football collector, I don't actually think there has historically been a better economic time in order to be a collector. And I guess from your point of view, do you agree with that? And do you see it exploding after the World Cup?
From like looking from the card perspective, and of course externally from the card perspective, at Fanatics Fest there was a lot more sports. There's a lot more football, soccer tables, or certainly presence at tables than there's ever been before.
Oh, so at Fanatics Fest, you mean in the America? Oh, wow.
Albeit 50% of them were your metal.
Yeah.
But it's a start.
Not a bad one to get, to be fair.
Like not many. You don't often just buy one player.
Yeah.
And because it's an entry level, all of a sudden they go, okay, who else? Oh, I'll get a Messi card. Then all of a sudden, or Ronaldo. Then they'll go,
Christian Pulisic. They love him over there, don't they? So
Pulisic.
Yeah, Pulisic.
But in terms of the US, like you do look at it. Like I was just got back from Disney World.
Not a bad life, is it? We're just talking about Fanatics Fest, Disney World.
Like I said, it's been a busy 6 weeks.
Yeah,
it's gonna be. But the amount of, and yes, it was just Messi, but Messi shirts being worn like into Miami was crazy, and you'd never say it would always be American football or MLB and that kind of stuff. But there was a huge amount of it, and yes, it is Messi, and it was always going to happen, and it's a great investment getting him there. And I think he's the one who's going to have the next club.
Yeah,
I think that's part of his contract, like Beckham had with Inter Miami. He's going to be able to. But you look at it, and there is that big presence. Like LA have a good team, Miami obviously, New York. Like there's good presence all round, and there's other people who probably know more about that kind of infrastructure. But from an events perspective, I think you're bang on. Like,
I think it's going to be massive.
The timing is going to be like.
It'll explode.
It will, and to think, like, I don't know what they're going to do, but next year's National could very well be on at the same time of it. I think next year's Fanatics Fest, I think they've said they want to do it slightly before.
Smart.
So
people will be there. So
people will be there. The players will be there. Don't know if there'll be a release for training, but from training. But again, the kind of eyes that they're getting is crazy. Like Fanatics Fest, they're getting Joe Burrow, they're getting Tom Brady, they're getting these A-list names. So they've got the reach for this.
Massive. Mark my words, David Beckham will be a part of it. That's my little guess. But it's also, I just think it's going to be huge. And also the amount of franchises that are popping up. Like you say, I think Luis Suarez is getting one. Messi's going to get his own. But I don't know if anyone's seen this, but New York Cosmos, they're back. So so they're not starting in MLS. I think they have to go into the kind of like G League in basketball. You have to get your development leagues and then come back. But they've got new investors, new people. So the New York Cosmos are going to be back in
again,
back in the MLS.
The
and
name that comes with that is huge.
Oh, like people don't actually clock. Imagine now if Fleetwood Town were to get Cristiano Ronaldo for a season. That's what it was like getting.
I think it is.
Getting New York Cosmos to sign Pele and Beckenbauer and Carlos Alberto, 3 World Cup winners, one who's won it 3 times, one arguably the greatest player and certainly one of the biggest names in sport.
Yeah.
They managed to coax him out of retirement and let him play for 3 years. Like, that doesn't happen. So Cosmos, if you're watching, you've got a new fan in me. That is my American team. I love him. I think we talked about the UK and the US card scene as well, but kind of onto you as well, because I've seen that it obviously would have happened during like you setting up the shows and things, but your own personal collecting journey has sort of taken on a kind of a new realm of its own, which I've really loved to see, to be honest, because I'm not in the selling route. I'm still kind of PCing my way through life. I don't really want anything else with that. But now that you've seen it from both ends, does it give you, like, first of all, why did that start and what ignited it? But also, does it give you a bit more of a not a burden, but sort of like a reason to make the shows even better now that you know what the sellers kind of have to go through?
It's an interesting one. So I've always been like I said, entrepreneurial. So buying and selling has always been of interest to me. But at the same time, when I decide to do it properly, and really go, I can make some money like buying and selling myself. Was when back in November last year, I had quite a bad accident playing hockey. Snapped my collarbone in a couple places, and I couldn't do a whole load.
It's quite a debilitating.
So I thought, you know what, I may as well try and make some money. Obviously, with one arm here the whole time. DMing was with one hand, comping was a little bit longer, but it passed the time, got the pain going past, and that actually buying cards at like 70-80% comps is actually what I traded into the Black Yamal Auto, which I ended up selling at Fanatics Fest. So I guess part of me is a little bit grateful I broke my collarbone.
That's one way to look at it with your personal journey, but that's cool. And do you have like, as a United fan, I'm hoping that you say a name that I've been saying for the past like year, but have you got an ultimate like PC chase for you? Like something that, because the reason I want to emphasize the P in the PC, because everyone's going to say a Yamal, a Maradona, Messi, Ronaldo, whatever. But is there like a real PC that you personally, if you were to find it, you would never let anyone touch?
I'm a big, I don't know, this is a bit left field. I'm a big Formula One fan.
Okay.
I'm really big. And George Russell is my guy. So
Nice.
I've always collected him. Football. I mean, a really cool CR7 United Auto is up there. I don't have many, but Kabooms are just
they're nice,
different.
Yeah, they're
like
so
I
good.
really like Kabooms. So like a low numbered one of them, like a gold Kaboom of a good player is one of them. I like Disney again. I just got back from it, but I recently picked up a Disney Super Fracto. It wasn't anything. I think it was a Sleepy.
Okay,
It's really cool.
Yeah,
It's one of them where again, if the right offer came, I would take it, but I'm in no rush to sell it. But a Grail piece which I would never sell. You know what? I actually picked it up at Fanatics Fest. It's a Tommy Shelby on-card auto because I'm a massive Peaky Blinders.
I was going to say that is cool.
I'm a really, and it says Cillian Murphy, but under it, he's inscripted as Thomas Shelby. So
he knew what he was doing.
he knew. Good old
knew.
Cillian, yeah. So yeah, that's probably up there. I'm a bit of a nerd.
Yeah,
I do like my Harry Potters,
we all are.
my Star Wars.
Let's be very clear.
Yeah.
What we're doing here, like, it's amazing, but
we're covering the cracks.
We are just like I don't think nerd is a derogatory term. I think like I love the fact that I'm a nerd.
Yeah,
like, it's the best because I always think
we're making nerd cool.
Yeah, nerd's always
kind
been cool. I don't care, but like I always think in life, this is a bit weird, like I'm going a bit philosophical, but like I think in life you just have to find something that you enjoy for whatever reason it is. So, and because like I say, when you go to bed at night, no matter what's going on in your life, you're going to have those thoughts there. And I always say to people, just find, if you're feeling crap about anything, find that one thing that can just make you smile even for a second, whatever that thing might be. And obviously some people will go to other people and stuff, but when I just think like I'm growing, like me as a kid, I remember opening the packs, like the smells are the same and the feelings still the same. So to have that
nostalgic aspect,
exactly, but to now as an adult know that I can just do it myself, and I'm doing it at a different scale that the little version of me would be like, whoa, this is mad.
Yeah.
And every time I see a card, that little kid in me is still doing that. So I think, yeah, okay, it's nerdy, it's a bit weird, it's a bit whatever it is, but all it is just a grown person finding the passion that ignites the kid within them.
I think
and
that's why shows are so special. Oh, mate, because everyone can just be themselves. And I always say this, like, if you collect and you've kept collecting from your friends or from your colleagues or whatever, like, A, don't, but B, if you don't want that to be like common knowledge, come to a show, like, because you've got 4,000 other people every day who are in the same boat as you.
It's the best.
It really is, and that's the whole thing. Like, whether it is Star Wars, whether it is Harry Potter, whether it's Lord of the Rings, whether it is football cards, whether it's Pokemon, whether it's Magic the Gathering, like, there is something at every single London card show. If you're a family, we've got a kids zone, we've got a retro gaming area, and I think that's the best aspect of collecting, but it's also the best aspect of the London Card Show, where it is something for everyone, and that's what Katie and James really have added to the show. The fact that I wanted to make it from a show to a cool event for the family, and all of a sudden the kids who were coming with a parent and were just chilling the kids zone while the parent or one of the parents walked around is now collecting cards as well, and we've seen that so much, which is really, really nice to see that we're helping encourage that next generational card collecting coming through.
Yeah, and I think if I had your show or any of the shows around the UK, if I had any kind of card show to go to when I was like 10 years old, I think because everyone I spoke to has the same sort of story where there's a lull in their life where they kind of forget about it, but then they ignite it back again. And I don't know what it was for you, but I remember seeing a Blue Eyes White Dragon PSA 9 2000. It was 2010, so it was a late print. I saw it on eBay, and I had that moment of realization, like, oh, I don't have to ring up my dad to use his account now. That's mine. I could just sign up, use my eBay. And I bought it for like 12 quid. It was it's still a steal. Like, it's actually mad. And I've still got it. And I still look back at that card. And I don't know what it is, but you just, like you say,
it feels like you're going into adulthood.
Yeah.
And you can do things yourself. But at the same time, like, I'll never
I'm still a kid.
Yeah.
Like, exactly. I am just still a kid.
Exactly.
And I say this to my mum, and this is directly for my mum now. So she didn't get it at the beginning because it is such a new thing, especially to an Indian parent. Like, she is modern and all this stuff, but I did law at uni. So I went down the typical route of like, okay, I'm going to be a lawyer now. And now all of a sudden I'm sat on a couch talking football cards with people. Like and then she's seen like the progression of it, and she's like, she gets it now. Yeah. But I still remember her face when I said, Mum, look, do you remember this? You bought me this as a kid. I got it slapped up. She was like,
what am I looking at?
What does this mean?
My grandparents come to every show. And they still don't understand it.
Oh, that's beautiful though. That's even more beautiful that they don't understand.
Well, they're the reason it's at Sandown. Really? Because they've lived in Isha their whole life. Oh, not their whole life, but as long as I remember. And every time I would go to their house. I'd pass Sandown. And so I always said that's where it'll be one day, and pretty quickly it was there. And yeah, they still come, and I'll tell them, we're expecting this amount of people. A card was sold for this amount, and every time their jaw just dropped, going, what? Yeah, cardboard's worth that. What?
Oh,
are they all right?
They haven't even scratched the surface.
Like, honest to God, the UK's a drop in the water compared to the grand scheme of things, but we're building.
That drop is going to get bigger.
Yeah, exactly. It is.
Yeah. My mum was the same. I had this. So I've got like a shrine in my bedroom, or I did have a shrine in my bedroom with all my cards on it. And this was when I was single. And then I had it, and then I got a girlfriend. I remember thinking,
that's got to go.
That's not. So I thought, like,
oh mate, the looks I got from my girlfriend. Yeah. When she came to mine, I was like, I stood my ground. I was like, that's not going anywhere.
So did I, but thankfully my girlfriend
was no longer there. But not the point.
No, but thankfully my girlfriend was the opposite. She actually sat there. This is when I know she was the one. She sat there on the bed with me, going through it and like showing me.
Every time, like, she show Emma, love it a bit, she'll be like, can we get a box?
See?
Can we get a box?
It's cool, isn't it?
So when you say we, do you mean me? And by I'll sort all the crap after. She's like, yeah. Like, whenever I do a break with Dove, she'll be there helping sort cards.
Yeah, love that. We've got a little Space Jam up in a hobby box at home that we're going to
they want to pretend like they don't love it, but they love it more than we do. And she's got her own little Voltex binder with Lando Norris cards, and she'll come back, oh, look at this. I was like, okay.
It is sick. But no, that's why, like, my little shrine I remember just kind of like we had our first date, and then she went home, and then I just remember just kind of laying in my bed and then just thinking, because at the corner of my eye I had some cards that were like flipped up on display, and I just saw a Ronaldinho, like, it was sick, 2006, but like Champions of Europe Ronaldinho PSA 9, sick. But I was like, he's staring right at me. Like, I'm just like, what? Why? Like, for her sake, I'm like, maybe I should make him face the other way or something. But no, mate. Listen, absolute pleasure having you on. Thank you very much for going through the story. And
always,
like I say, this whole show is all about like learning these sorts of things, but having like tips and tricks and everything. So this is just you, like, to everyone who's listening and watching this, like, in terms of being a collector in the football space. If there was one little piece of advice, it can be card specific, it can be fan specific. If there's one little bit of advice you could give to someone as a kind of sign off for the video, no pressure, what would that thing be?
It would be that, from an events perspective, when you go, everyone is in the same mindset. So kind of like, enjoy what you do. Don't feel like you have to collect something, because everyone else. Oh, Yamal's the hot dog. Don't feel like you have to buy Yamal. If Mbappe goes scores a hat trick, don't feel like you have to buy Mbappe. If you want to invest, but collect what you love. And there's a lot of good people in this hobby. So if you're new, just ask questions. Come to me. Come to GBW. Go to the boy himself. And yeah, there's so many good people, and yeah, it's the most refreshing hobby in the world. It can be toxic at times, but so can anything. So
Yeah,
that's 100% invest in what you want to invest in, but collect what you love, collect what you want, and yeah, ask questions.
yeah. Couldn't agree more. And I think that is it for one of our first interviews ever on the Hobby FC show. So thank you very much, Harry, for coming down. And like I've said before, this is the place where we're going to learn and collect and grow together. So if you are new in the football collecting or hobby space at all, there's a few episodes that you can stick your teeth into right in the description wherever you're watching or listening to this. But until next time, we'll see you in the next episode.